meeting is being recorded and we are starting after attendees joined.
Yes.
So in the meantime, we can just stay on mute or
Yes.
we can chit chat. It's okay. Chitra,
Yes.
let's go ahead and start.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I know we're waiting for a few, but yeah, I think we can go ahead and start. Yeah.
Okay. Please continue.
All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, attendees. I'm just going to quickly turn on my camera. Hi everyone. Thank you very much for joining on a Friday evening. Really appreciate that. We'll start this Ask Me Anything session really quickly. So first off, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Vaidehi Thakre. I'm currently the Associate Director for Graduate Admissions in the Viterbi India office. Joining with me today is also my colleague Chitra Jain. She's the Recruitment and Marketing Advisor with the Viterbi's India office. She will be with us today and answering all your all your questions, any concerns that you have, and she'll help us out as well. So without any further ado, let's get started. Let's dive deep. This session is more from an informal perspective. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to just drop it in the window, like chat window, or you feel free to unmute and just go ahead and talk. Anything would be fine. And yeah, let me quickly talk a little bit about myself and what I've been doing. So I am a Viterbi alum. I actually finished my master's degree in engineering management in 2024. And you know what I'm doing currently, but I thought this would be very helpful for people who are getting, admits as we speak, or, they have any questions or any concerns before they're intending to certify. So we can talk a little bit about all of those. And today, again, like I said, is supposed to be more of an informal conversation, so feel free to hop in at any point of time. So yeah, I pursued my master's in engineering management pretty recently, which is why I thought I had more relevant insights as to what's happening sort of now, how you can plan and prepare as you go and sort of make an informed decision in this process. And another thing is that I'm sure as you're making this decision, you're bound to have some questions and some concerns. So this was sort of set up so that you can, talk to me, not from really the, staff perspective, but more from the Viterbi alum perspective, so that I can share any information through what my journey has been so far. And hopefully I'm able to help you out with any doubts and concerns, right? So yeah, I what I've done for today is I'm going to talk about how you can prepare like before you go, because I'm pretty sure you'll have questions, hey, how do I prepare? How do I know what's going to happen? What to expect, and how do you just prepare yourself in this entire process? So when I was flying for my master's journey, and 3 years ago, what I did during the time between my admission and then oh, Devanshu, do you have a question? I saw a hand up, I guess. All right. If you have questions, feel free to unmute. If not, we can talk towards the end of the end of the presentation. All right. So before I went for my master's, between the time I got my admit and I was like preparing financial documents and such, up until the time I actually flew to the United States. It was a span of 2 to 3 months in between. And what I tried to do was work on my resume and work on my LinkedIn profile. What I also did is create a portfolio website. I thought it just helped me stand out a little bit, and I can just demonstrate my projects into deeper level with the portfolio website. So that's something I was doing in the meantime. But why this is important is when you go, your fall semester will begin in the month of August, and the month of September is when you're looking to join career fairs, networking events, and a lot of other things with USC. So this is going to help you prepare and stay on your toes right away. So definitely, if you do get time in between those 3 months, try to work on your resume and your LinkedIn profile and just upskill, but also make sure you enjoy the most, because once the master's journey begins, it's just going to be one thing after the other. So for sure, do take your break and enjoy, and go for a trip and whatnot. Just live your life in between those 2 3 months, but also sort of prepare a little bit. Just more on this. When you do start at USC, you'll go through orientation. I think it's on 15th of August this year. So you guys will have orientations where you'll be you exposed to all the resources with Viterbi, and you'll have your official welcome. So you'll get acquainted to the campus, and there's a lot of fun activities planned for you during that week. And that's when you'll also sort of know more about the USC Career Center, Viterbi's Career Center, and sort of, what all is accessible to you guys. So definitely that first two like weeks when you're starting out, you're attending events, you're attending welcome events, orientation, and you're just meeting and networking with people. I think that's the time you're going to understand, hey, there's so much to do. And so that's something you should be on lookout for. Right after you go, you're going to get access to all the resources, so you're ready right off the bat, okay? Then up next, something I did was try and understand the student organizations at USC. For me, because I wanted to make sure that I make the most of my master's journey, not just from the academic point of view, but also from the social perspective. So I wanted to get involved, be part of student organizations. So I think the first month is you will see how many of these student organizations will have events. They will have mixers. Mixers are like a social networking event, where you grab food and you chit chat with everyone, just get to know each other better. And then, like, they also host info sessions as to sort of what they do through the year. So you get to know, okay, if you're investing time in a student organization, sort of what is the kind of calendar you'll have, what all do you get to do. For our Indian students, if you're looking for specifically the Indian community, there's a couple of them on campus. That's Association of Indian Students. And then I think the Hindu Student Organization, there's more. But these are the ones that primarily do end up hosting, the yearly like signature events, and then also like specific holiday events. So there's Diwali, Holi, Ganpati, whatnot. It gets very detailed, but they also sort of tell you, hey, this is what our like yearly plan is, and so you can join in. And what's good is Viterbi itself I mean with USC, it's about 1,000 student orgs and maybe more. And you get to know about all of these again in the more initial phase, which is during the first 3 weeks of classes, wherein you have involvement fair, on-campus job fair, so and so forth. So this is when you're going to meet all these clubs, and so you will see the range. It goes from professional societies to cultural clubs and recreational sports and so much more. There's a dedicated page for this, so if you want to look about it now, you can just Google, student organizations at USC, and you'll end up with that website wherein we've detailed all the student organizations we do have. So definitely get involved, right off the bat from your first semester. It's a great way to make a network. It's a great way to meet people with, the same mindset, and that really helps. But of course, I think you don't need to have it figured out right away. Just have a sense of the perspective and direction you want to go in. But if you don't have it figured out, that's completely fine, you know. When I went in, I didn't do any of this research myself. And that's funny, as I did this when I reached, and so I felt like I was a little short on time when I was doing things. And so I think these are the pro tips I wanted to share, but definitely have the mindset of, excuse me, my bad. The air conditioner is killing me, but anyway, so definitely don't worry if you don't have it all figured out. What you want to do is just try to, you know, have these 2, 3 months to yourself, plan out your move. You're moving across to a new country, so there's naturally going to be a lot. You know, look for a good packing list. Make sure you have everything handy. Make sure you have your documents handy and do some prep. So start early, but definitely you don't need to do everything right off the bat, okay? Great. What I'm going to do now, because I know these are some commonly asked questions to our ambassadors, and these are the ones that are asked by incoming students. So I've picked maybe like 4 of the ones that are asked a lot. So I'm going to address those, and then after which I'll just open the floor to the live Q&A. And so if you have any questions, you guys can feel free to unmute and we'll talk. Okay. So first off, if you ask me, how can I maximize my preparation before arriving at USC to ensure a smooth transition academically, professionally, and socially? So I talked a little bit about this, but I'll give you some more insight anyway. So for academically, I think what you're gonna need to understand is the curriculum is not necessarily a lot like how it is in like back home in India. There is a different way of things, and so you're gonna need to get used to a new academic system. So what I can recommend is whatever coursework you're doing, try to look up the syllabus online. It should be easily found. If not for this year, at least for the last year, you will definitely find syllabus last couple years or last 2, 3 years. And it's good to get a look because then you know sort of what you're expecting. And that's just, I think, how much you need to do from the academic perspective. Rest is when you do start classes, you're going to have that first session wherein a professor will walk you through everything. And I mean, like, not just your syllabus, like who are going to be your teaching assistants or who are going to be course producers, who are going to be people who grade your assignments. And teaching assistants also hold like office hours. So if you want more detail and like more understanding of what a course is offering aside from the syllabus, a great way to do this is either have a chat with the professor or have a chat with the TAs, and they will guide you. So that's about everything you need to know right off the bat. And so again, course selection, what courses you want to take up until, I mean, in your first semester, and you know, that course planning, that's something you'll do after your orientations. You know, the team at USC, they will guide you on, you know, how to apply for D clearances and how should you do your course planning, what course you should take right now, and so on and so forth. So rest assured, right now, if you want to do some prep, this is all you can do. But again, it's not necessary. It's completely optional if you want to do that. Professionally, like I said, work on your resume, your LinkedIn, you know, work towards upskilling. If you know there's some skill you've wanting to be developed for your profile, something that you know it'll help you in your masters, then go forward. Do it. Do it if you have time. Do it if you have the bandwidth. If not, again, not to stress so much. Just relax. And socially, so here's my 2 cents on the social aspect of preparation. I'm pretty sure you already might have some people in your network, you know, who are going for their masters at USC. So if you identify these people, definitely stay in touch. And when you do actually land in LA, you know, meet up, go for your, you know, first grocery shopping run together. I think that really helps. I went with my then roommates and they sort of showed me around campus because those two were a senior, like they were senior and they were living in LA 1 year before we reached. So, but yeah, that's where we started. And then we attended a lot of these welcome events and orientations. You do end up meeting people from your cohort. And I still have some friends I met at orientation, and we're still very tight and very close. So definitely you will get a chance to start there socially. And then, USC is a great school. We have a thriving student life. So you'll get so many events wherein you can meet like-minded people. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this is all I've done before I went. And aside from this, there are just small things like you're going to need a bank account, your SIM cards, and just making sure you settle in well. So, depends on where you sort of choose your housing, you'll get all the details also. So make sure you utilize that to your best. And if you have any specific questions regarding all of that, we're here to answer that today. Okay, next, what does a typical week look like for a USC grad student, and sort of how do you balance academics, networking, and life in LA? So I think Mondays through Thursdays, you will see a lot of like classes, and you're trying to work and finish off assignments and such. I think Friday onwards, you will see a little more chill. It's the weekend, and usually people in the United States, they love to enjoy their weekends. And at least LA geographically, where USC is, there's a lot to do in and around campus. And so I think I'd made this rule for myself that up until Friday, I'd just try to finish everything I can. And weekends is when I try to, do all my chores and, step out, just explore LA because there's a lot to do. And that balance is like it's very important because, you're going to invest a lot in studying, preparing for internships, or, just making sure your like your home and your house is okay. And so weekends is something where you should definitely try to take a break from everything, step out and do, all your exploration, go for hikes. There are a lot of museums. 1 hour, 2 hour drives from LA, there is a lot you can do. So just try to make sure, you do that. During the week, though, you will not just have classes, but there are a lot of these professional events. Viterbi Career Connections is one specific arm within the Viterbi Career Center, and they work primarily to support students for securing internships or full-time roles, or just help them get career ready. So you will have all these professional events during the week, so many of whom you can attend and find out, hey, which companies are hiring right now, and what are the roles they're hiring for, are they hosting info sessions? If yes, how do I go, how do I join, right? So you'll see those. And then you'll also see USC hosting a lot of social events, right? There are a lot of mixers, a lot of gaming events, there are a lot of movie nights. And these are not just organized by student organizations, these are organized at university level. So these events are like huge. So I think that. And then in and around campus, there's also USC Village. I think it's the most popular hangout spot for a lot of us, because that's where you'll find grocery stores like Target or Trader Joe's, and then a lot of these coffee places. So in and around campus, there's a lot you can do, and especially close to campus is USC Village. But you're also in downtown of LA, so everything is close by. And so you're just going to need to figure out a way to transport. A lot of people use public transport, and just go explore. Just 30 minutes from the USC campus is the Santa Monica Beach. 30 is on a traffic day. It's a little 25 is when there's no traffic, 25, 20 minutes. And so explore the beach, just go hang out. And you're going when it's almost like the transition between summer through winter, but it'll still be hot up until September, so you can go to the beaches. Just pro tip though, beach water is freezing even though it's, the summer season. It's not like how it is in India. I found that the hard way, so make sure you're prepared. But yeah, so your typical week will look a little intense between Monday to Thursday because you have classes and such. And Friday onwards, it's, I think, more party time. All right. How competitive is it to get on-campus jobs and internships? And how does USC support students in finding internships and full-time roles? So I'll talk first about on-campus jobs and then towards internships. On-campus jobs, if you're looking to join a professor's team. At master's level, you can join as a course producer and a grader. And at PhD level, you can be a teaching assistant also, and a research assistant also. So the TA and RA roles are sort of reserved for your PhD students, and then master students can join at course producer or grader capacity. This means you can support your professor for grading assignments, creating assignments, and occasionally also sort of get involved in a lab assignment and such. That's the role. And then aside from this, this is one way. There are some research positions open with our labs. So USC has two main of our research labs. One is the Information Sciences Institute, and the other is the Institute for Creative Technologies. These are both located pretty close by. It's in the greater Los Angeles area itself. And so here's where people can go work for research. And these positions that are open with the labs also come up on the main portal, that is Handshake. So we use a platform called as Handshake to advertise our on-campus jobs, our internships, any full-time roles that are that companies in our partnership are hiring, and then also I think I said everything: internships, on campus jobs, and research positions. So Handshake is going to be your best friend in your job hunt through the 2 years, be it for on campus roles or be it for your internships or full-time roles. Now, like I said, so how does USC support us in this process? Finding a good internship, landing a good full-time role. I think that's kind of like the ROI everyone is looking for, right? So we have two career centers, and this is a little uncommon because not a lot of universities have this. So we have the main USC Career Center, and then we'll have the Viterbi Career Center. And so the School of Engineering has their own career centers dedicated specifically to support engineering students in this initiative. So you're going to get support not only for your resume reviews or your mock interviews, but also networking events, info sessions. There's a whole bunch of events that happen on campus. And so what you need to know is that there's not one, but two entities working towards supporting your job hunt. You do need to understand that these are just support metrics. A lot of this has to be done by you. So a job hunt will be very subjected to how aggressively you look as well. But there is a lot present to support you. So just tap into those resources and you're good to go. All right. How competitive is it? So, to be very honest, it can get competitive, but because on campus jobs range from a variety, because you can work with a professor, you can work for Viterbi School of Engineering, or you can work for any other school on campus, and you can work in the library, you can work in a cafe, you can do so many things in on campus jobs. And each semester there is a class that graduates, right? So that fills in a lot of vacancies, that creates a lot of vacancies to fill in. So definitely make sure that you get a comprehensive idea of, hey, let's say you're taking a specific class and there are two course producers. If one of them is graduating, that position will need to be filled in. So keep an eye out and try to understand who is graduating or if there are any vacancies early on, so you can try to apply for that position when the time is right. Okay. So that's my 2 cents on just on campus jobs and just how USC is supporting. Also, because this is more of an informal session, I'm not walking you through every single detail, but just know there's a lot more. I'm just telling you something that's more from the perspective you need to know at this point of time. And lastly, my experience with housing and sort of what factors you should consider when you're choosing housing. So if you already don't have accommodation, and you are looking for one still, so here's how I did it. I did it through Facebook groups and some WhatsApp groups. Now, Facebook groups do happen to have a lot of scammers, and so we caution you to not, pay anything early on. Just understand that these scammers intend to just scoop money, and so you'll actually understand right off the bat if they're fishy or not. But for the most part, still try to make sure that don't pay anything early on. If you have friends in Los Angeles or if you have friends around the USC area, try to ask them for help if you find out like there is a good advertisement. So ask your friend to go check out the place. So you know that this place like does exist for sure, and it's you know, in a good locality and such. Overall, what factors you should look at distance for your commute. A lot of graduate students choose to live off campus. If you're living off campus, you will have to consider some things like, you know, how do I get to my classes quickly? Because then you'll have to plan accordingly, right? So look at distance factor, also look at safety factor, and then for the most part, also something cost effective, right? You definitely want something cost effective. So check out all options you have and see which one works best. For me, to make sure it's a little cost effective, I was sharing a space, my room, with a roommate for the first I think couple of semesters. Then I moved into a private room. So you're going to have to figure out what works for you, but the main factor is a commute. What I can let you know is a lot of people end up getting you know, bikes, not like bike, cycles. These are called bikes in the US. I know they're called cycles here. So they'll have a bicycle to ride from their home to the campus, or there is a USC shuttle that goes around a specific track. So it might not be right in front of your house, but there might be a USC shuttle track close by. So you'll have to install an app, you'll get an idea of where the shuttle goes from. So you can also commute in and around. And there's a couple of apartments around USC that do have a shuttle service. They're a little further away from the campus. This is somewhere I lived. I live in a place called Lorenzo Apartments. They did have a shuttle specifically to go to campus. So yeah, there are some of these options also. But overall, this is something you can check. You do have to check in the distance factor for sure. For evenings, you don't have to worry because USC has a program called as the Lift program. And the Lift program, you get free rides, free cab rides in a 2 mile radius around the campus from 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. On exam days, it goes up to 6 a.m. So at night, if you want to go grocery shopping, I'd recommend doing it at night because you have a free cab ride from your house to anywhere in a 2 mile radius, right? So it can be that you want to go to friends, or it can be that you want to get some work done. So any grocery shopping, I would recommend doing it in the 6 p.m. onwards time so that you know you don't have to carry bags of groceries back home, and you know, climb 2 flights of stairs with groceries. So that's mostly it. And I lived in a shared setting just so that I can save some costs. But right after I got an on-campus job, I was able to manage it all well. All my living expenses were automatically being taken care of by the, you know, funds I was getting from the on-campus job. So yeah, that's roughly it. I think this is all you need to know from, you know, from this, like at this point of time, when you're sort of preparing to go. But now, should you have any questions, now is a great time. So any questions, feel free to unmute. Turn on your video if you'd like. If you're not camera ready, that's okay. Or Devanshu, yes, do you have a question? Go ahead.
Hi, Vaidehi.
Hello.
Thank you for this candid session that you had. Like, acha laga.
Thank you.
Just some context about me. It's been 3 years that I've been working in data science in
Mhm.
India, Mumbai, and Bangalore right now.
Okay.
And I have my admit from USC now.
Mhm.
Now, the question is that in terms of like, it's mostly about the ROI as itself.
Mhm.
But I love the curriculum that ECE has to offer, right?
Mhm.
But a good curriculum does not always translate into a better job, right?
Yeah.
Now, what factors should one consider as USC's strength solely from a job hunt perspective? Like you mentioned, two institutions helping you out, but that's just, an aid. But
Mm.
in terms of does the reputation of the college help, or is the market so brutal that it doesn't really matter what college you're from? Like, as long as it's decent enough. That's what I where I want to hear your perspective about.
Okay, great question, Devanshu. Thanks for giving me a little bit background into your experience so far also. So let me tell you a little bit from what I know. Chitra, if I miss something, feel free to add in. Okay.
Yeah,
So
sure.
first off, from the curriculum perspective, yes, definitely the curriculum that's offered is great. We have world-renowned professors teaching at this specific department, which is the computer science department. And so one thing I can tell you is our Trojans are everywhere across United States, be it big tech, be it startups, be it everywhere. But the Viterbi School of Engineering specifically has a brand and a name in itself, and that adds on to a lot of value. So let me explain how this works. Post COVID, a lot of these companies that are partnered with universities, institutions all across United States, they have a budget, right? They can only travel to so many universities for career fairs. But USC is in the top 10 of these choices because we automatically get employers to come in for our career fairs or our networking events and so on and so forth. They do have a separate budget for USC. So the way I see it, just from the branding perspective, there's so much that's offered for our students and our international community also. And so that's just a stand like a brownie point on your two centers working towards supporting you. And then if you look at our career outcomes page, you will see historically how well Trojans are doing in every single sector and every single field and sort of what companies they get placed into. I think our top hirers are, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, at least for the data science roles. So definitely something that you should check. But from the ROI perspective, the school does a lot for you, but again, job hunt is subjective to how you put in efforts and then sort of how that translates also. I hope that answers your question.
It does, whether he just a little bit, just a small follow up on it. You
Mhm.
mentioned two strengths. One is the network, the
Yeah.
alum network, and the other is companies coming to your fests, our fests, and
Mm.
employers coming us and reaching out to us. So it's a portal, right?
Yes.
Now, I know it's hard to give a right number, but if you can give an estimate onto what percentage of people actually get hired through these on-campus fairs, like out, because from what I have known about my friends graduating, most job hunts are on LinkedIn or career portals. But let's take a cohort of, let's say, 100. Out of these, how many actually end up benefiting from these offline events where
So
companies come?
yeah, I cannot pinpoint a specific number, Devanshu, and I'll tell you the reason why. Across US universities, you will see we don't have what is a training placement cell. We're not a placement office, right? What we do is support our students, but across United States, you will not find a training placement office. So, and another thing in this perspective is, so international students, there's two components. You can work on CPT when you're studying, and then on OPT after you graduate. So legally, we're not allowed to, question our students as to, hey, where are you getting placed? And like so and so forth. What we do though, just for our sake, because we want to know, right? We want to know how well our students are doing. So we have a survey in place, which is called as the first destination survey. And that's where people input sort of where they are getting placed and, what role they're getting placed into and such. But again, this is optional. So we cannot for sure ask this question to students is, so hey, where are you getting placed? So I cannot pinpoint a number for you, but what I want to do is give me 1 second and I will try to pull in the numbers from the first destination survey. I think those were displayed in one of our other presentations. It's not part of this one, but then
Yeah.
again, this is only for CPT, which is internships, and we asked this question during that thing. Okay, so give me
Uh,
1 second.
yeah, let me tell something regarding this also, Devanshu. It's like, see, as Vaidehi's already mentioned everything, but it also depends on you also. Like, majorly, like we are giving you the platform. We are trying, USC is trying our best to train you during the boot camps, how to write your resume, how to give your mock interview. We'll have mock interview test and everything, how to give the interviews and everything, like, We'll train you. We are providing you the platforms. Big companies are coming to USC twice a year for fall and spring, both time. But at the end, it's on you how you crack the interview. We will give you all the platform, but you have to crack the interview. It's on you. It's on your marks. It's how confident you are at the interview. So just make sure that it's at the end, it's on the student also. Correct? Like, so we, and as Vaidehi told, like, we try to get the numbers as much as possible for our record so that we can, share it with you guys. Yes, please go ahead, Vaidehi.
Yes, thank you very much, Chitra. Yeah, Devanshu, I hope you're able to see my screen. So what you're seeing here is CPT. So these are just internship numbers, and these we know for sure because they have to enroll in a course. So when you're doing an internship in the US, all US universities, this is standard. You have to enroll in a course for credit because your internship goes for your, like, it counts towards your degree. There's credit for it, so you enroll in a CPT course. And so we know for sure these are the numbers, right? So if you're looking at it, and spring 25 is still, because it's an ongoing calculation, it's still spring 25 there. The semester is not ended yet. But either way, these are the numbers we have for CPT. But for OPT, like I said, it's we cannot legally ask that. That's kind of why we have the first destination survey. So does that answer your question?
It does, it does. And actually, I was just asking, from a perspective point of view, that because you've been there and have you seen these career fairs massively help students get placed. So, just like a notion that your own individual perspective, that's what I wanted to know. And
Sure.
this 736 does look like a good number, by the way. But just what's the denominator? Like, what's the base number of students in a
Uh,
particular year?
Actually,
Um,
again, that number is not something we have because every semester this calculation is not just incoming
okay.
students, but it also current students and so on and so forth. So
Right, right.
yeah, what I can share with you though, career fairs, see, we do have a bigger crowd, if you're looking at it that way. And so you'd say, hey, does this actually really help? Because you'll see a lot of crowd because a lot of people wanna leverage career fairs. But I got placed into my first role from a career fair. So definitely career fairs work. Of course, you have to have good speaking skills. You have to have your elevator pitch ready. You want to make sure whatever you're trying to speak about gains any traction from a recruiter. So having everything optimized essentially is important. But career fairs is not the only way people get jobs. The way it works is you're not only interested in just fairs, but you're also doing networking events, info sessions, conferences, and then applying through all the platforms that are available, be it LinkedIn, Glassdoor, or Handshake, and such. So job hunt is it's actually quite a task in itself. It's a big project, and you have to take it that way, and you have to invest a lot of time. But definitely, resource wise, I feel the kind of resources USC has, it's a little unmatched in that sense because I've had people from my network and my cohort, some of them who are still sort of struggling. And that's why I feel like, okay, I can be confident when I'm vouching.
Thank you, Vaidehi. Love the detail. Thanks.
All right. Any
And
other
thanks,
questions?
Chitra.
Any other questions from anyone, be it, social life, or, hey, what should I pack? Or which bank is good for me to open a bank account? Like, these were really questions I had when I was going. And funny enough, I didn't really know as many people when I was going. So yeah, the good thing is this is a good platform for you to explore. So no question is a silly question. If you have a question, just let us know. Love to answer. Okay. Yes, Akshat.
Uh, Hello, am I audible?
Yes, hi, how are you? Thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
I'm good. I wanted to ask a more research question towards more the research side.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a fourth year student, BTech,
Okay.
and I'm currently pursuing honors, which is a research program here
All
at my
right.
college.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not want to go for a PhD as of now. I don't
Right.
have any plans for that, but I wanted to get a research-based role.
Okay.
So it's a research scientist or a machine learning engineer kind of
Mm-hmm.
role,
Mm-hmm.
the CS program. So I wanted to know, like, if there are no RHips, then what is the good path to take so that I can have some more research experience? Because I had some from college and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to continue it. So I was looking forward towards RHips or, as you said, research positions in the lab.
Yeah.
So are they not open for everyone, and how competitive is it? If you could give me an idea on that.
Yeah, I can explain. So TA ships and RA ships specifically are for PhD students, like I said, but there are some industry projects that come in towards professors that do require more from the more quantitative or qualitative research side. So that combined with our two research labs, plus any research project created by a professor, this doesn't have to be for what you're doing in lab work. This is different industry stuff. So
Okay.
there's so many other opportunities that come into professors from that standpoint, wherein you can work as a research assistant, not a research assistant, like a research associate. And the way it will work is these are not only advertised on Handshake, but the professor, if they are looking for MS students, they do send out emails to students and let them know that, hey, I have a project. If you feel you're qualified, you can apply. And they have all their criteria for doing the selection. And once they go through that, if they think your skills are good enough, you can join any specific research project, provided
Okay.
it's separate from what TARA is. But these two labs, by the way, ISI and ICT, definitely research about these, because I can tell you these two labs are at the forefront of innovation. And Viterbi right now, just for your perspective, because you asked about research, which
Hmm.
program did you get enrolled in, by the way?
MSAI.
MSAI. Great. So definitely do this due diligence on the two labs. If you, I'm sure you don't know this, but there's a new initiative which is launched by Viterbi, and it's called the Frontiers of Computing. Now, it's a $1 billion initiative to focus on AI, machine learning, hardware, quantum, and big data and such. So
Okay.
have so many new initiatives upcoming like this, wherein there will be not just projects, but there are going to be any relevant partnerships that we want to do with some industries in Silicon Beach, which is essentially Silicon Valley of LA. So it's called Silicon Beach. Even the name matches. So there's so many of these initiatives in and around Viterbi, and so you will not find a dearth of opportunities in research. That's something I can say.
Okay, one question I had was, what is the difference between research assistant and a research associate?
Well,
You
yeah, that's
mentioned.
what it segregates PhD and MS students, and it's not necessarily called research associate. You'll be called research engineer or research fellow or whatever. But these are positions aside from TARA that are hosted by either labs or specific by like an industry partner and so.
So these positions are also paid like equally, or okay.
Well, some of them are paid, some of them are volunteer positions. You will find out on Handshake, but most of them are paid.
Okay, got it. Okay,
All
thank you
right,
so much.
sure. Anybody else in the room? Any other questions that I can help you with today? I know I've been talking for a lot. I'd love to hear something from you guys. And it can be anything really. Professional, academic, social. Yes, Mohammed.
Yeah, hi. It's Hasnain here.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
And
That's
yeah,
name.
and thank you for organizing Vaidehi. It was a great session. I just had two quick questions. So first one is, like you mentioned USC resources earlier, right?
Hmm.
So are there any specific ones that you'd strongly recommend using from day one, basically, that like usually most students overlook? And the second question was, just wanted to ask about the current job market and the sentiment, basically. So, like from your experience, what have you seen, and like how was the overall sentiment given the climate right now, the political climate? Those are the two questions that I had. Thanks.
Great, great. Okay, let me answer the first one. The first one was what kind of resources you can use from the start. So the Handshake app, you will get access to Handshake the moment you land on campus. So once you're done with, your passport verification, all the initial processes and your orientation, you get access to the Handshake platform. Now, Handshake, you will see is more from the job hunt perspective, but parallel to Handshake, you should also install another app. This is called Engage SC. Engage SC is the platform wherein the university puts in all events, or any advising sessions with your advisors and whatnot. So have these two apps handy, because you'll receive all notifications and updates on, hey, which events are being organized, which companies are coming on campus, and so on and so forth. So these two, they're not overlooked for sure, but people don't start early on. That's something I can say. So if you sort of want to make sure you are like a little ahead of the preparation, have these two apps handy. On campus jobs also, you can apply as early as you land and you get all your like initial paperwork done. You can apply for any on campus jobs. And yeah, these two mainly. But aside from these, there are more in sense of, if you want to pursue more on the entrepreneurship route, you want to go that route, or if you want to do something more focused towards research, like I said. So there's the research labs with USC, but there's also something called as the Viterbi Startup Garage. Now this is it's a body under Viterbi, but it works solely towards entrepreneurship. And so if you want to work with startups there, or if you want to build your own startup or your own product, Viterbi doesn't fund, or USC will not fund, but you can meet a network of VCs which are associated with Viterbi Startup Garage, and you can tap into those also. So if you're looking at it from this standpoint, just to like be ahead of preparation, these are the two apps and like portals you should have handy. But definitely make full use of Viterbi resources, because let's say somebody had a question regarding research, right? A lot of these research papers that you find online, because they're publicized by a specific publishing body, you don't have access to the entire research paper. USC has affiliated libraries wherein you can find all of these for free. So Springer, IEEE, these are like some popular ones I'm just blurting out, but you can find all of these research papers on USC database and libraries. So really, there's so much available in terms of resources. You just have to find them out and utilize it. These two were my personal favorite. I used to have another one back in my time that doesn't exist anymore. It's been transformed to Handshake, like it's integrated within. But we had something called as Connect SC and Simplicity, wherein we had, resume books, sort of how you can make your resume tailored to a specific role, or, insights on what keywords to include and such. So these are now just part of Handshake, so you'll still have access to those, but these two are the main ones. What was your second question again?
Yeah, it was basically on the job market sentiment.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So, from the job market insights perspective, I can tell you more on even current scenario, and this number will keep changing. But let me tell you this. I just discussed this yesterday with one of my colleagues. Give me 1 second. I'm actually putting it up. Yeah. So what we do is each year we do this comparison. So at current time, where do we stand in perspective of internship? Let's say I'll give you an example for internships in terms of last year. Now everything happening geopolitically and globally also, that does affect the job market in a lot of ways, right? But let's say if I give you the example of CPT right now, we're 2 weeks in, and this is more of a periodic comparison. It's not like last year in April where we were. No, it's more from, we started in like second week of April. This year we started in third week of April. So 2 weeks in, I'm giving you this period, like periodic wise. Our numbers are up 27% than what it was last year. Last year it was 208 people at 2 weeks in time who had CPT, like internships, handy. This year it's 266. And 127 of them are Indian citizenship. And this is just 2 weeks in. And this goes through the entire summer till August. So if you're looking at it that way, we know that our students are getting jobs. We know that not a lot of them are traveling back home, but what they're trying to focus is like still work, continue to study, or take summer courses and whatnot. So Viterbi level, we know where we do know, like there have been layoffs or there have been any other considerable issues outside. Yes, job market, everybody's hearing it, it's difficult, but been more it's been more emphasized on senior leadership than fresh graduate roles. And also, from my perspective and standpoint, job hunt is also a little bit luck. So there's so many aspects to it, but we're not seeing any issues at this point of time.
Yeah, thanks for the answers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, I think okay, we still have a little bit of time. So, do we have any other questions? It's funny how all of them are, work, research, jobs, and internships and whatnot. But I don't see like anyone excited to party or anyone who wanna, know more about the social life. So yeah, I feel like this is a serious crowd. But yeah, I don't think if there are no other questions, I think we can hop off for today also. Yeah, one final call. Any questions regarding anything? Okay, then. All right, so let's hop off. Thank you very much for joining on a Friday evening again. Really appreciate that. Hope these insights can help you sort of make more of an informed decision, and we hope to see you on campus. Yeah, good luck for the rest of your. Oh wait, looks like Akshat has another question. Go ahead, Akshat.
Yeah, I was not sure if I should ask or not, but it's not so relevant. But like, if I want to consider to defer, like, what is the process? If you can guide me through that, that
Yeah,
would be great.
yeah.
Telling them I don't see an option on the thing. That's why I was asking.
For deferral, there is a form that you can fill out, and you can defer for one more semester, and that admission will stand. But if you defer for, like, let's say, one full year, you will have to reapply. So, how about Chitra? Is it possible for you to share with him like deferral related
Yes,
queries?
yes. I'm sharing you the link. You just have to fill that form. You want to defer for one intake or a whole year?
No, I was thinking about a whole year. I haven't decided yet. Thinking for at least a year.
Okay, I'm sharing you the link. You can just submit that form. Okay.
Okay, so after that 1 year, it will be a reapplication. Like I have to pay the fees again and everything. Or
Sorry.
Yeah.
I will.
You have to reapply. Yes,
So then, how is it different from differing or just?
Your voice is cracking.
actually, yeah.
Um, I wanted to know what is the difference between deferring and reapplying. Then, if it is for 1 year.
Oh, so deferring to one full year doesn't guarantee an admission. So if you're not guaranteed, that's when you'd need to reapply.
See, the thing is that you defer also, but your application will be reviewed with the other applications. That's the point. So what do? You fill the forms and email to the Viterbi grad admission also, so they know that what step you're taking also. So let them know that I want to defer to this term and I filled the form, and they will reply to you because it's clearly mentioned that deferral does not guarantee you the admission. It's on because your application will be reviewed with the other applications also.
So the next year, will I have to pay the fees again for the admission process, or then what would be the difference
No,
between deferring and applying again?
if you have paid your $1,000 deposit right now, it will be utilized for your next intake.
No, not the $1,000 deposit. I was talking about the admission fees, like the I don't know, I forgot its term.
See, the admission fee you don't have to pay right now, right? You will
So
He's
pay
talking
yeah,
about
by
application
the
fee, I guess.
I think he
The
meant
form.
the application fee.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think you would have to. Oh wait, no, he has to reapply. Yeah, you'll have to go through the whole application process, meaning you'll have.
Not for deferral. I think he does not have to submit another application again unless and until you have some documents, extra documents which you need to submit.
Oh
Or
yeah.
if there is some changes, you don't need to submit another application. But for the next year, after 1 year, you might have to. So why don't you email to the Viterbi grad admission also for this question?
Sure. Okay. Okay.
And I'm sharing you the deferral uh, link also in a second.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
In the meantime, any other questions? Social life, where you can go for groceries, anything? Oh, yeah. So, Hasnain, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we were having a lot of serious questions, so just wanted to ask, like, could you share like some recommended places that we can go to de-stress from the academic life, and like what would you say like we can
Okay.
do in a weekend? Yeah.
Sure. So around USC, like I said, one of them is USC Village, but that's really just to go and like sit in a cafe and such. But Los Angeles has a lot of these museums around campus close by, like it's a 15-20 minute bus ride or like a 10-minute cab ride. So there's museums that you can explore. Aside from this, Hollywood Hills are also close by. So a lot of people on weekends will take hikes to the Hollywood sign. And so you'll start at the bottom of the trail, you'll go all the way up, and that's one. Something that I used to do quite often is I love driving. So I'd rent a car and 40 minutes from LA, like if you go down towards San Diego, you'll find a lot of these beautiful beaches, a lot clearer than Santa Monica waters. Santa Monica and the Santa Monica Pier is great, but I feel like it's a little crowded, and I like more of a secluded beach. Have my book or just have wine, because I think all of us are like none of us are 21 and less here, but for sure, like I'd have some snacks with me and just I'll drive down to a beach. And so there's two beaches that's really good. One of them is called Venice Beach, and then the other one, if you go further down, is called Newport Beach. These two are two I really liked. Towards north, if you're going more north from Los Angeles instead of like south towards San Diego, there's Malibu. Malibu has wonderful beaches, really good cafes. These do go to a little bit of an expensive end, but I just like Malibu for the region and the locality it is. It's a very I think top-notch area, and so you'll see a lot of the crowd is a little different. It's again more secluded, not very crowded. And then there are hikes you can do in Malibu. These are some. Then, aside from this, though, you'll find locations around LA that are more cultural. So you'll find Chinatown, Koreatown, Little Tokyo, Little India. There's just so much. So every weekend, I think we'd gone to each one of these, explored local cuisine, and you'll find some of the best Mexican food in Los Angeles. So definitely explore that. And another thing is LA geographically is the only place, or maybe the state of California, where you're able to see snow, sand, beach, and mountains, everything in such a close by radius. So this is more from the beachy perspective. If you want to go explore and see more from the desert perspective, there's a great place for overnight camping called Joshua Tree. A lot of people go there for stargazing, and you'll see the sky there is so clear that anytime there is a meteor shower or any astronomical event, Joshua Tree is crowded and people go camp, they'll stay there overnight. And there's a lot of these good Airbnbs where you're going to have hot tubs and you can just enjoy and chill and unwind. So I went from just more of the trip perspective. Of course, close by is San Diego, that's a 2-hour drive. Also, San Diego is where I went skydiving. So if it's a bucket list item, if you want to do it, definitely do it, and like text me on LinkedIn. I'll share details on where I went. But there's just so much to do, and I'm quite excited to share this. But yeah, there's so many ways you can unwind, and of course it's LA, so you'd think Hollywood is the best. Hollywood Boulevard is the best place to go, and truly, it's a little overhyped. But yeah, there's a lot of other things to do. You start slow and then you pick up pace. So start with Santa Monica, then you'll know the rest and sort of you'll navigate in and around it. And transport is also cheap if you don't drive. Like there's a buses you can take from LA that'll take you to either of these beaches. So Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, Venice Beach, really good ones, and then Malibu.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks. I was just taking notes. Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you need something, I'm always up on LinkedIn. I do reply to a lot of messages, so you can reach out and I can help. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for organizing, Vaidehi and Chitra. Thanks a lot.
Sure. All right, guys. So we're at least at the end of time anyway. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining. We really hope this was insightful, and good luck for the next steps. Bye bye. Have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. I've
Thank-
shared the referral link also. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
And Devanshu, you don't have to submit pay the like the $90 fee again. You don't have to reapply. But yes, if you defer, your application will be reviewed with the other application for sure again. Okay.
Chitra, that wasn't me actually.
Yeah, I think that
Oh,
was
sorry, there was someone else. Okay,
that
I'm
was
so
yeah,
sorry.
Thakre.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think okay, no worries.
All right. Bye, people.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.